What's up, guys? How's it going? Summer's kind of coming to a close here with me starting school, and I realized I still haven't done a update video. And of course, I've been working on my layout a lot this summer. Then again, I haven't had time to make a video because of my 2 jobs and traveling a lot, as in rail fanning. I went to Horseshoe Curve, we saw, in Altoona, Pennsylvania, and in July I got back from California. So it was a great summer. Like I said, just haven't found the time to make the video of what I've actually been doing. So I'm just going to go overview of the layout. For those of you who haven't really seen my layout before or heard my ideas, because that was a few months ago already, you know. I'll be modeling BNSF present day up until December of 2012 in Southern California. I'm not really specifying an area because I also include the surf line between LA and San Diego, along with the Tehachapi Pass type of scenery, and you know, it's just some of my favorite parts of California, and just the parts that I really took out from all the places I visited and thought were worth modeling. A lot of it really won't be distinguishable because I'm just trying to throw into some industry, and I'm just gonna put the desert scenery around it. My backdrop, I'll go off pictures I took when I was out there. And operations, I'm having a single track portion, which is not realistic for the Tehachapi Pass, but it will be realistic for the Cajon Pass, but it will be realistic for the Tehachapi Pass. Anyway, let's get going behind me, and we'll start where you guys saw last and where I started the summer. Here we go. I kind of began this summer with the starting and finishing by the mid-June with my Helix here. At the moment is 5 levels, as you can see right there where I left off. I'll continue one more time around to right about there where that's going to be the top level. Yeah, I measured it with the app I got on my iPod Touch. It's actually, I have it right here, just hold on. It's some sort of grade measurer, and you can, well, I guess the scale doesn't matter. Let's see. It's called Gradient Level. I think this is by one guy. I can't remember the name of the company though. He also does the Model Speed app. Anyway, it's about an average of a 1.8% grade, which I think is pretty good. I rise 4 inches each turn, and I do believe it's a 32-inch radius. It's 64 across. So if that's not exact, maybe the app was off, but that's what I came up with the app. And I think it's a decent sized Helix. You can see this board right here. This is actually decided that that's going to be multiple scenes in each time it comes around, so you can take video as your train's coming around. One scene will be completely different. You know, you can have like Chicago, you can have the grasslands, you can have Arizona. It's just going to be for more options for video and just different scenery. Maybe even a snow scene. We'll see. I haven't really decided the scene, so those are just examples. But anyway, you can see this part right here where it kind of comes off. That will be where, or there is a switch there right now. It'll come straight across, and behind me is my Wisconsin Southern switching layout, which will just connect there. As you can see here, even with all the mess, this right here is the board that for the bottom level, and that connects up there at the Wisconsin Southern layout. And that's going to be on a slight decline because I had to decide whether to take that switch off of this level here or this level here, and that was just a decision I made. That's going to be a decline going down there. This would have been I don't think it would have been a difference in grade, but I just decided I'd rather be going down grade going to the Wisconsin Southern layout. Next thing you may or may not have seen is this section right here. This is the kind of desert area, and it's going to be mountains on the background. I found this comic in Model Railroader. If you read Model Railroader, you always know that they have those little comics in the back. And this is the exit to your Helix, and you got a bunch of guys sleeping in it at the end because it's such a long Helix. They're waiting for the train to come out. I just thought that was funny. Might represent my Helix, but being single track, there'll be guys waiting on the other side. Not quite sure how long it'll take to get through it, but it's going to be fun to operate on a single track portion. As you can see, also there's a switch here that's going down to the staging. I'm not even sure what's going to be considered, but it's going to have an intermodal yard partially, and the rest will be for mixed freights. It may simulate just going east, so I'll put all the Southwest Chiefs in there from Amtrak, and a lot of the stack trains. Over here on the section where we're exiting the desert scenery, we have a bridge. This is an exact rail, one of those girder bridges, whatever. Great looking model. It's got all this detail along with the walkways. That's going to be going right there. I got that all spaced out already. And then we move over here, and this is kind of where it gets interesting. This is where my industrial switching area will be. Right up front here is going to be a truck stop, and I just thought that having some nice Peterbilts and just some cool trucks would look great against the desert scenery. This obviously is pretty rough at the moment. I'm actually waiting for that plaster to dry right now. It's a foam base, and what I'm trying to model here is just a real steep decline going down to the base. It's going to be like rock and gravel all the way down. At the bottom will be a pile of gravel, the bigger rock. Up on that spur track there, that's going to be maybe like a concrete place, or for an example, when I was in California, there's this place similar to this scene with the rock going down on the angle there, where they collected gypsum back in the hills. And I do believe it was WAMX that were the switchers for that plant, which is Watco, same company that took over WSOR, or it was a different separate railroad that actually went back in the mountains and got it from the mine. But I think that'd be kind of cool to model. Some more industry along here will be on the back. If you can see, there's this switch right here. It's going down. I'm going to have actually two separate some sort of warehouses or something, and it'll actually have a fence in between, but they use the same track, which would also mean that they switch them out at the same time. May not be prototypical, but for my operators, they will be actually switching everything out at the same time. Up front here, we are having a lumberyard. This whole thing's going to be a lumberyard. We got two tracks for center beam cars or box cars. And as we go over here, you probably get this all from one view. Got the switch for that. And you have an interchange. And what happens is you got this switch right here, and then you can see that line. It goes straight across to that switch. And then if we zoom in here, it goes to the storage track, which is where you just pick up the cars from and drop off some more cars. I'm not quite sure if that's going to be a separate railroad or what separate railroad that will be, but it will be some more places for cars to go on the layout. We have a crossover before the portion over there for the switching, so that when my operators can get to the other side of the train. I actually had some of them over last week, and they really gave me an idea. I have one guy who's really big in just switching industrial areas like this, and he was looking how he would actually operate this, and he informed me that it'd be ideal to have a crossover like that, just to make the switching a little easier for him, and holding on my main line for a lot less time, and just a little more prototypical, mostly because I don't have any other crossovers in this area. There will also be a real cool from Walthers Santa Fe interlocking tower, and that's a Walthers kit, and I do believe that they announced that in the July 2012 issue of their catalog, monthly catalog. Let's just go to the back here. There will be some switches off this here. I didn't tell you, about right here, there will be the backdrop from over here will come in, so you won't be able to see any of the switches back there. It's going to come through here, right here, and curve, and then go like this. You won't be able to see any of the switches except for from the other end where I'll have all the tortoise switches, at least where I'll have switches for the switch machines. And then you got switches for, I got 3 tracks, which is just for more storage. And this will be considered the San Diego storage, mostly because this place is going to represent at least the surf line, if not a little more San Diego. Since I haven't had the chance to upload my passenger video yet from, well, I rail fanned in around Los Angeles, Fullerton, and San Bernardino. But then we went south to Oceanside, California, and there was this really cool bridge across kind of a swampy area. It was right at the shore of the ocean, and it was kind of like just some sort of river. I'm not sure if it was fresh water or anything. And then there was just a lot of trees and weeds kind of in the bottom of it. And in the background there's some apartments, a ton of palm trees. So that's what I'll be painting on the backdrop, which will follow that piece of wood there. And then of course right here we'll have the actual Oceanside coaster. I guess it's mainly a coaster station, but also served the surf liner, Amtrak's surf liner. And Coaster's stupid sprinter thing that went, I believe, to the Lego place. As you can see here, we have the curve, and this up front is going to be the ocean. That's all plaster waiting to dry, at least a bunch of different layers of plaster. And that's going to be the beach and the ocean. And you can't tell just because it has no dimension at the moment, but it is a downgrade right to the front where it's going to be about that distance, maybe 4 or 5 inches will be actually ocean, the rest will be beach. And there's going to be a few, maybe bridges over the tracks, or just walkways for the people going to the beach. And the line between the plywood and the next level down, which is the foam, is going to be rock. About where this switch is right here will be the end of the double track. And I don't really consider it double track, I just consider it a long siding. And it may look like it, but over in the industrial area that looked like triple track. That was basically just the same track just coming around next to it, so I will have to put some auto reversers in, because it will be considered a reversing loop once it gets to the single track portion by the bridge. It may look like a sharp curve, but I have a 30 and a 28. To tell you the truth, I really didn't want to go below 30 just because of issues with cars not looking realistic. I do understand that that is an issue, and if that's all I can fit, I'm going to go with that. If I could fit more, I'd obviously go as much as I could. And as we move over here, you got the area that kind of represents San Diego. You know, I'm just trying to get some recognizable places in here. I know there's a lot of people who want to do exact prototype modeling with, scale distances. And, you know, that's not exactly what interests me at this moment in time. What I'm going for right now is shots for video through the layout. I just love looking at a realistic train going through its realistic scenery, and going through San Diego like that, especially all these passenger trains I'm going to be running coasters left and right. I'm going to have a full timetable for those. Engineers will have to stay on time. I'm not even exactly sure of the ratio of fast clock I'm going to do, but for one operating session I may even do a 12 to 1 or 12 to 2. Maybe if I do a 12 to 2 I could do like a 4-hour op session. And I was planning on having nighttime lighting, so that'd be a real cool thing also. Of course, this is the bottom level, so I'm going to have to do some different stuff for that, along the lines of putting blue lights underneath the whole top level. But that's going to come along later once I actually get that built. I'm just happy to have the bench work for the bottom level done at the moment. This is the scene that I visited in San Diego. It's a pond, it's a circle pond, and then it has a 4-lane single or one-way road right next to it on either side. So this one's going west, that one's going east, whatever. For my track work, as you can see, I'm working on at the moment. I'm trying to reuse as much as I can. As you can see, I have a few old switches. Those are all Atlas Code 100 switches from my old layout, which I finished tearing down in the spring. At the moment, I'm reusing as much as I can, reusing road bed. Not sure if cork is going to be the way to go for the top level. I might experiment with foam, but otherwise I may make my own also. We'll have to see. I might just look up some articles on that. At the moment for switches though, when I buy new ones, I'm doing all Pico. As you can see, I got a little pile of them there. They seem to work great in there. I know that people don't like the style of the frog, but to tell you the truth, it doesn't really bother me. Although I am doing code 83 for the spurs, for the industrial tracks, as you may have seen in the back. Those are, I think that's just Atlas code 83 track. Just a little more realistic when you're taking video, comparing the main line to the spurs. A lot of people say that code 100 is just not scale at all. Modern times, it definitely is scale, considering the code of the new stuff that they're all using. I mean, just comparing to my photos, I definitely noticed that it doesn't look bad. So it may be a tiny bit off, but not that I noticed. So this open area here is just gonna be for me to climb in, just in case something does derail in the storage area back there. It won't be seen. The backdrop that I talked about. So go from there, curve around, come this way, and then it will come here, and it will curve around here, and go just about up to there, where there'll be an overpass, and that'll be your entrance to the hidden area. And then that right there, I'll have a bunch of toggle switches for all my switches on the end or whatever. A little diagram. So I think it's coming along. Let me know what you think, guys. Any new ideas? Very welcome. That brings us to the end of the layout update here. I just want to bring some other updates and some other projects I've been working on. The Cedar Creek Central Railroad Club, which is a club I belong to, is having their model railroad show and swap meet in Cedarburg at Circle B. It's kind of like a bowling alley. They just call it Circle B Recreation. Sunday, October 21st and yeah, just the 21st, 9 to 3:30, as you can obviously see. Anyway, next project here. These are, I know I'm a little ahead of myself here, some recent trucks I've purchased. These are kind of what got me going on the truck stop. These are great looking trucks. They're all the first four Peterbilts. I bought those in a pack of 4 for $15 from Walthers. I went to the Walthers showroom here in Milwaukee, and of course they have the shelves with all the damaged stuff, and the packaging was a little damaged, so they cut the price in half from about 30 up to 35, I think it was. I'm not sure. Last two I just got from Sommerfeld's, where I work, the hobby shop. Next up, another little project so I can run my Layout Pro typically. You got the NCE USB interface board. That's mainly going to be for once I get Panel Pro running, and some CTC on this thing. And another thing I like with the Panel Pro and Decoder Pro is that I can have a full roster of my cars and locomotives. So when I fill out a train and print off the sheet for my engineer, he will have the full length of his train and the total tonnage also. And that'll help with length of sidings and other information he may need to know. Next up, a very rare Wisconsin Southern GP, well, Athearn calls it a Jeep 38-2. It's actually a Jeep 40. I bought this from a friend, decent price. As you can see, one of the main issues with it was it being the shell of a Jeep 40, which had this dynamic brake hatch, which is unrealistic considering where the exhaust is. So what I did, I bought the actual one. Of course, it came in the gray primer. Me trying to match red. Red is a difficult color to match. I can tell it's a little orangey at the moment, a little dark. I need to get the brighter red. I'm gonna see what I can do with mixing that up. Otherwise, if I really can't get it, I will just weather it up and make it blend in. I've been trying for a while, so I'll keep trying and see how that turns out. As you can see, I put a all-weather window in already. I know the 3802 has the 3-pane one of those, but until I can find one for a decent price, I'm just gonna keep this one on. I do have a plow for it already. It's just not on at the moment. Another thing I just recently did was order about $50 in detail parts for this. I mean, that includes the new fans, because it needs a new fan arrangement on the back. So I need to get rid of the middle fan. But I'm also putting sound in it, so I need to make those see-through so that the sound kind of projects outward more. I'm also doing a full of the piping down by the fuel tank. I'm doing full detail on that. Bought a kit for that from Details West. Another thing is getting the angled ditch lights, which look amazing and very unique to this number. I think it's one of the only 38s from WSOR that has that. Not exactly sure, but anyway, I got reverse ditch lights for it. Those will all be lit. Also bought some MU stands, and I also bought some switching plates that fold down in the front and back so that they can walk between engines. And let's see, what else did I get? Not too much more than I can remember. I actually bought a scaled broom for it because every picture I've seen of this locomotive is either on the front or on the back, just hanging on the side, you know. So hopefully I can get quite a bit of detail on this locomotive. Another project of mine was buying this ES44 DC from Intermountain, and it was actually the 7695, which had the yellow logo on it. But what I wanted to do here was create a C4, minus a moved headlight in the back, rear light, and some of the venting was different, of course. But what I did was change it to 7017, which is the newest C4 number that I had seen when I was on the Cone Pass in California. So this one I've seen. The DC that I took the decaling off actually was a brighter orange than the other one, the AC that I have from Intermountain that I got the first run originally. And I mean, like, I'm sure the color was right from the sample they took, but I think it's a little bit faded. This is definitely bright orange and definitely represents the C4 that I saw. I'll also be doing the new antennas on top here, and that's just something that'll come along a little later. Haven't gotten to that yet. I also need to weather it up on the venting in the back. That's a must, considering it just looks bad at the moment. Anyway, they always come with nice detail. Didn't have to do too much to it. Intermountain did fix their ditch light problem with it not being bright enough on at least the second run. I think this is the second run, if not the third. I don't even know if they have a third yet. Anyway, they did fix that. I didn't have to take on any resistors this time, so I was happy. Handrails, definitely not any more durable than the previous run. I did have to do a little bit of gluing directly out of the box. So, as you can see behind it, there's a decal set for that. That was, yeah, I took off the side ones and the numbers. That's about it so far. Yeah. So yeah, that's what's going on right now. Hopefully I can just let you guys know when I do something new. I don't really post it anywhere other than in video form for YouTube, but I mean, I'd like to a little more often. But then again, you guys don't want to see when I just lay another piece of track. That's a little too frequent. So I know I used to do the weekly thing. I felt obligated to do weekly, but when it comes down to me actually doing something in a week, I want to make a video and just re-show you guys what just happened last week, and just show you this little tiny thing I did, which isn't worth showing you. So maybe monthly, or just after I finish up a big project. I'm not doing many how-tos as I build this layout, mostly because I'm just figuring it out myself. And I don't want to show you guys any wrong ways or any of my failed attempts and me feeling I just started this video, I better finish it, you know. If something like that happened, I just wouldn't upload it. I mean, I do know a fair amount, but not enough to really do too much with helping to inform you guys. I know I've seen a lot of videos on YouTube, just kids making videos of how they're doing it right now, and then you see they're trying to do all this grass in this area and they're trying to fill it up, and if you would have painted your foam so we don't see pink through your grass, it would have looked 10 times better. And for other beginners looking at that, they're thinking that doesn't look as good as something that compared to the real world, and if that's the way to do it, you know, that they may think that's the only way. So If I really do master a certain area, I'm pretty good at weathering cars. I've showed you guys a video on that already. That's kind of old news. Not doing too much of that anymore. Sure, I weather cars, just don't make a video on it. So anyway, guys, I'm building up my car roster at the moment, just along with the layout. Just what I'm planning on doing for my op sessions is having a staging yard. The guys come 1 week, they see all these cars on the layout, okay? They come 2 weeks later. My goal is to have at least half the cars switched out, where you just don't even recognize them. And they're, I mean, look at the railroad. When in 2 weeks would you see the same exact car going back and forth unless it's passenger? Very rarely, unless it's some sort of special car. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Really appreciate you guys subscribing to me. I know I've had a lot of subscribers just in this lull of video. Wait and checking my channel all the time, see if I actually have a new update or new video. I know you guys like video, so just check back frequently, and if you're a subscriber, you should get an email when I upload a video. So thanks guys for watching. See ya.